What if I told you that the bread you're feeding your family right now could contain metal shards, rubber particles, or bacteria linked to deaths and miscarriages? That loaf sitting in your pantry with the cheerful packaging and wholesome claims might be hiding something far more sinister than you ever imagined. By the end of this investigation, you'll know exactly which brands to throw out immediately, which ones are slowly sabotaging your health with hidden sugars and sodium bombs, and most importantly, the 5 brands that actually deliver on their promises. Because here's the truth nobody wants you to know: the bread industry has been lying to you, and today we're exposing every single name with receipts. Let me start with something that'll shock you. Remember Wonder Bread, that iconic loaf that practically defined American childhood? It turns out nostalgia doesn't equal nutrition. Each 2-slice serving delivers 140 calories, 180 milligrams of sodium, and 5 grams of sugar, all wrapped around refined flour that's been stripped of virtually every nutrient it once had. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry experiment, filled with additives and preservatives you can't even pronounce. They fortify it with artificial calcium to make it seem healthier. But that doesn't compensate for the complete absence of natural fiber and micronutrients your body actually needs. Experts consistently rank Wonder Bread among the least healthy options available, and consumers have noticed too. That unnaturally light, fluffy texture that never seems to go stale. That's not quality. That's additives doing their job instead of real whole-grain ingredients. Now let's talk about Pepperidge Farm, because their marketing team deserves an award for deception. They position their farmhouse line as delicious, homemade-style bread, the kind Grandma would bake. The reality, it's a sugar and salt delivery system. Their farmhouse hearty white contains 230 milligrams of sodium in just 1 slice. That's 10% of your entire daily limit, plus 4 grams of added sugar. Sugar is literally the 3rd ingredient listed. But wait, it gets worse. Their sweet Hawaiian line takes it to another level with 6 grams of sugar per slice, 5 of which is added sugar, and 210 milligrams of sodium. The ingredients read like a science project: refined flour, additives, artificial flavors. Experts are practically begging consumers to leave this on the shelf. If you're watching your weight or managing diabetes, Pepperidge Farm's sweeter varieties should be completely off limits. Sunbeam Texas toast might be famous for those thick, fluffy slices, but it's also notorious for being alarmingly unhealthy. Each slice packs 180 milligrams of sodium, a concerning amount that can seriously impact your cardiovascular health. The ingredient list is dominated by industrially processed components and preservatives that Harvard has specifically warned about, especially for children. Sure, the sugar content sits at only 2 grams per slice, but when you replace real whole foods with a long list of cheap additives, you're getting empty calories with zero nutritional value. Consumers report that while it tastes soft and pleasant, it molds surprisingly quickly and doesn't keep long. That's likely due to the moisture-rich, additive-heavy formula that prioritizes texture over longevity. But here's where things take a truly dark turn. Sara Lee isn't just nutritionally questionable with their Texas toast containing 200 milligrams of sodium and 2 grams of sugar per slice, pumped full of additives for that soft, fluffy texture, and their Italian bread isn't better at 240 milligrams of sodium per slice with preservatives that tank its nutritional value. No, Sara Lee's real notoriety comes from something far more disturbing: a sanitation scandal that resulted in deaths. Earlier this year, Listeria bacteria from their Michigan plant contaminated bread and deli meat, causing 15 deaths and 6 miscarriages. 15 people died. 6 families lost pregnancies. Sara Lee was forced to recall 35 million pounds of product, plead guilty to distributing adulterated food, and pay a $4.4 million fine. Their reputation didn't just take a hit, it completely collapsed following this food safety disaster. Freihofer's has been a long-standing brand in the Northeast, but longevity doesn't equal quality. Their premium Italian bread is rated terribly for nutrition. Each slice contains 230 milligrams of sodium, meaning a single sandwich delivers over 400 milligrams, which is dangerously high. They avoid high-fructose corn syrup, artificial colors, and artificial flavors, but they compensate with excessive salt and preservatives. Experts point out that despite the clean label claims, the high salt content and heavy preservatives make this bread fundamentally unhealthy. Consumers frequently complain it's way too salty, and here's the kicker: it can last for a month without spoiling. If your bread doesn't go bad for 30 days, that's not freshness, that's powerful chemical preservation. Country kitchen markets their hearty Canadian white as high-energy bread. Let's be honest about what that means. Each 110-calorie slice contains 150 milligrams of sodium and an ingredient list so long it should raise immediate red flags. Like so many other packaged breads, they add countless additives just to extend shelf life. Experts have evaluated this bread with a blunt assessment: that is way too many ingredients for us. It's an unhealthy choice masquerading as wholesome. The bread might have decent flavor, but the reliance on additives means you're losing all the nutritional benefits you'd get from actual whole grains. Now we need to talk about Great Value, Walmart's budget brand. The savings come from cheap ingredients and massive industrial processes, which creates both nutritional and sanitation nightmares. Recently, Walmart had to recall huge quantities of Great Value bread after more than 30 customers reported finding rubber bands and plastic shards in their loaves. The investigation revealed that worn-out conveyor belts were shedding rubber particles directly into the dough, and plastic packaging was getting mixed into the dough during production. At least 3 people suffered cuts to their mouths and chipped teeth after biting into hard plastic pieces. Let that sink in. People were injured by their bread. Nutritionally, the wheat variety is also terrible, loaded with cheap additives and minimal fiber, essentially delivering empty calories. Walmart was forced to tighten quality control with suppliers, but the damage to Great Value's reputation is permanent. 2 King's Hawaiian sweet rolls are beloved for their soft, pillowy texture, but the sugar content is astronomical. Each 28-gram roll contains approximately 5 grams of sugar, mostly added sugar used to create that signature sweetness. They also add extra oil and butter to achieve the moist texture, which means you're consuming more saturated fat than regular bread. Nutritionists compare these to Pepperidge Farm's sweetbreads and note that 5 to 6 grams of sugar per serving, combined with flavorings and refined flour, contributes to weight gain and heart disease when consumed regularly. King's Hawaiian is delicious, no question, but it should be reserved for special occasions, not daily consumption. The high sugar content and complete lack of fiber make it more dessert than daily bread. 3 Nature's Harvest presents an interesting case of good intentions gone horribly wrong. This whole grain brand, owned by Bimbo Batteries, tried to cater to health-conscious consumers by removing certain preservatives in 2024 to promote a cleaner label. Sounds good, right? Except they failed to adjust their manufacturing process accordingly. The result was catastrophic. Nature's Harvest whole grain bread started developing green mold within just 2 days of purchase. Bimbo had to recall thousands of loaves across 16 states because bread was molding before the expiration date. While mold isn't immediately fatal, some types produce dangerous muck. The incident cost an estimated $3.5 million and forced them to completely reformulate their preservation methods. Despite marketing itself as wholesome whole grain bread, Nature's Harvest's inability to maintain basic sanitation without preservatives exposed a critical failure in quality control. For speaking of Bimbo, let's address the parent company directly. Bimbo is the largest bread corporation in the United States. Yet the bread bearing their actual brand name is criticized for both nutrition and safety. Bimbo Large White contains 150 calories, 250 milligrams of sodium, and 3 grams of sugar per slice, with virtually no significant fiber or nutrients. The primary ingredients are refined flour and an extensive list of additives. Designed to keep the bread soft and shelf-stable, they don't use high fructose corn syrup and they fortify with calcium. But that doesn't compensate for the lack of whole grains and fiber. The safety record is even more concerning. In 2023, Bimbo recalled 48,000 packages of bread, including Sara Lee, Nature's Harvest, and Great Value, after discovering fragments of metal wire from a broken conveyor belt had fallen into the loaves. Although only 1 person was slightly injured, the incident resulted in millions of dollars in losses and a massive decline in consumer trust. Bimbo bread is nutritionally bankrupt and has a documented history of safety failures. 5. If you're still with me and finding this information valuable, I'd really appreciate if you'd drop the number 10 in the comments just to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that button and ringing the bell so you never miss content like this. Your support makes it possible for us to keep investigating and creating videos that actually inform and protect you. Now let's continue. 6 Martin's potato bread is beloved for its incredibly soft texture and subtle potato flavor. But the nutritional profile raises serious concerns among experts. The bread is advertised as being made with potatoes, creating a wholesome image, but they actually use rehydrated potato flour, which is a starchy form with significantly less nutritional value than real potatoes. The sodium content is relatively low at around 105 milligrams per slice, which is a positive. However, each slice also contains 3 grams of sugar and numerous unnatural additives, used to create structure and enhance preservation. The combination of additives and sugar significantly diminishes any health value this bread might offer. Some customers have actually boycotted Martin's for non-bread-related reasons. The company has been involved in controversy over sponsoring extreme political figures. While that's not directly about bread quality, it's worth noting, despite the delicious taste that keeps people coming back, experts still rank Martin's potato bread as one of the less healthy options due to its nutritionally unbalanced Formula 7. Home Pride's butter top wheat appears to be a nutritious wheat bread at first glance, but the ingredients tell a different story. Each slice contains only about 70 calories and 140 milligrams of sodium, which seems reasonable until you realize that's just one slice. Make a sandwich and you've doubled those numbers. The real problem is that the recipe uses enriched wheat flour, not whole wheat, as its base, and includes high fructose corn syrup along with various additives and preservatives. The ingredient list is filled with artificial components that anyone looking for clean, healthy bread should absolutely avoid. Experts are direct about this. If you're looking for healthy bread, skip Home Pride entirely and look for a 100% whole grain variety, without artificial sweeteners and preservatives. 8 Sunmade, famous for raisins, offers a raisin cinnamon swirl bread that appeals to anyone with a sweet tooth, but the sugar content is staggering. Each slice contains 8 grams of sugar, and most of that is added sugar, not naturally occurring sugar from the raisins themselves. The loaf is loaded with raisins and cinnamon to create a nutritious impression, but the ingredient list reveals extensive unnatural additives used for preservation and flavoring. Consuming this much sugar regularly can easily lead to weight gain and increased risk of diabetes. Experts recommend that anyone aiming for a healthy diet should choose bread with much lower sugar and fewer additives. Essentially, this Sun-made bread is more like a dessert than a daily food staple, which is exactly why it's landed on the list of worst breads for health. 9 Udi's is a popular gluten-free brand, and their cinnamon raisin variety is particularly concerning because it's excessively high in sugar and salt, relative to any benefits it provides. Each slice contains 7 grams of sugar and 220 milligrams of sodium, which equals or exceeds conventional bread. The ingredients appear more natural on paper, featuring raisins, brown rice, flour, and cane sugar. But Udi's still has to add numerous additives to compensate for the lack of gluten structure. What you end up with is bread that's high in calories at 140 per slice but low in fiber, making it not genuinely healthy even for gluten-free consumers. Experts advise anyone needing gluten-free bread to look for options with significantly less sugar and salt, maybe trying a different gluten-free brand that offers fewer calories and less sodium. 10 Finally, let's address Panera Bread's everything slice bread. Panera is famous for fresh bakery items, and they also sell packaged sliced bread, but their everything seasoned sliced bread has a reputation that exceeds its actual nutritional substance. Each slice contains approximately 180 milligrams of sodium and includes an extensive list of unnatural ingredients, meaning they're using many additives to try mimicking the flavor of fresh bakery bread. Although the bread is topped with sesame seeds, poppy seeds, dried onion and garlic, creating the appearance of a wholesome whole grain product, the bread base is primarily refined flour, not actual whole grains. Experts warn that consuming this much salt contributes to high blood pressure and heart disease. Panera advertises grains but actually delivers refined flour high in bad carbohydrates. Their packaged sliced bread completely fails to meet expectations for a nutritious choice, contradicting the company's carefully cultivated image of healthy, fresh-baked goods. 11 So we've exposed 15 brands you need to avoid, from hidden sugar and complex additives to dangerous sodium levels and actual sanitation scandals involving deaths, injuries, and contamination. But I'm not going to leave you hanging with just the bad news. It's time to flip the script. Now I'm going to introduce the 5 best bread brands, the ones with whole grains, low sugar, clean ingredients, and reputations trusted by both experts and consumers, all backed by clear evidence. These are the options that are both genuinely delicious and actually healthy. 12. Food for Life's Ezekiel 4-9 sprouted grain bread is considered the absolute gold standard for healthy bread. It's made from 100% sprouted grains, uses zero refined flour, and contains no added sugar or artificial preservatives whatsoever. Because the grains are sprouted, the bread becomes significantly richer in protein and fiber compared to conventional bread. 2 slices provide approximately 12 grams of fiber, which is exceptional. A nutritionist explained that sprouted grain breads like Ezekiel have an improved nutritional profile, are substantially easier to digest, and are high in protein and fiber, which increases satiety and helps reduce inflammation. Dietitians specifically praise Ezekiel. It was the top choice unanimously recommended by all 3 experts interviewed by Real Simple for making healthy sandwiches. The Ezekiel brand is remarkably low in additives, salt, and sugar, perfectly aligning with expert advice to choose bread with whole grains, low sugar, and minimal preservatives. Ezekiel hits every single criterion. With decades of reputation in the organic food world, Ezekiel 4-9 bread is often described as a superfood among grain products. 13 Dave's Killer Bread has emerged in recent years as a leading organic bread brand. Their prominent lines, such as 21 Whole Grains and Seeds, or Power Seed, contain a diverse blend of organic seeds and grains that provide significant amounts of protein and fiber. 2 slices of Dave's 21 grains offer around 10 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein, which is an impressive count thanks to ingredients like flax seeds, sunflower seeds, and oats. Nutritionists rate Dave's as the best seeded bread available, praising its incorporation of flax, pumpkin seeds, quinoa, and sorghum into the recipe. The bread is completely free of preservatives and high fructose corn syrup, with very low added sugar. Most varieties have only about 1 to 2 grams per slice. Brittany Brown, a registered dietitian, shared that Dave's Killer Bread, along with other sprouted breads, is a top choice for healthy sandwiches because of its high fiber, protein, and beneficial fats from the seeds. Consumers rate Dave's bread extremely highly for its rich, natural flavor, soft texture, and satisfying chewiness from the seeds. Additionally, the brand story adds another layer of appeal. It was founded by a formerly incarcerated individual and actively supports second chances for ex-offenders, creating positive social impact. Dave's Killer Bread is lauded for its organic ingredients, exceptional nutritional content, and unwavering commitment to quality, making it truly deserving of a spot on the top packaged bread list. 14. Silver Hills Bakery specializes in sprouted grain bread and is based in Canada but extremely popular throughout the North American market. Silver Hills varieties like the Big 16 sprouted grain are highly rated by experts for using 100% organic sprouted whole grains, containing absolutely no animal fats, and being completely vegan. Each toothless serving of Silver Hills bread provides approximately 8 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein, which is very impressive for sliced bread. The sprouted grain ingredients include wheat, oats, barley, millet, quinoa, and sunflower seeds, making the bread more nutritious and easier to digest than conventional grains. Notably, the bread has no added sugar or very little, around 1 gram, and no artificial preservatives, which means it requires refrigeration to stay fresh. Nutritionist Brittany Brown lists Silver Hills alongside Dave's Killer Bread as a top pick for healthy sandwiches because it provides fiber, protein, B vitamins, minerals, and beneficial fats from the seeds. Another expert commented that Silver Hills is high in protein and fiber, truly qualifying it as a bread soup. Consumers praised the bread's strong grain flavor, firm texture, and ability to keep them full significantly longer than regular bread. With over 30 years of reputation in the whole grain bread industry, Silver Hills absolutely belongs in the group of best packaged bread brands. 15. Nature's Own 100% whole wheat is one of the best-selling whole grain breads in the United States, known for clean ingredients and genuine affordability. The bread is made from 100% whole wheat flour, providing 13 grams of whole grains per slice and 2 grams of fiber per slice. More importantly, the company commits to using no artificial preservatives, no artificial colors, and no high fructose corn syrup in the bread. Each slice is only 60 calories with just 1 gram of added sugar, extremely low compared to many other packaged breads. As a result, blood sugar levels don't spike after consuming this bread. Experts frequently recommend Nature's Own 100% whole wheat as a great value, genuinely good for you option. According to one nutritionist, this is an economical choice that still provides adequate protein, fiber, and low sugar, making it suitable for large families. In nutritionist Lindsay Livingston's list of healthy breads, Nature's Own topped the budget section with 4 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber per slice, and only 1 gram of sugar. Customers rate the bread as soft and naturally flavorful without any overly sweet taste or chemical smell. With a widespread distribution network across US supermarkets and decades of credibility, Nature's Own 100% whole wheat is considered the benchmark for mass market. Healthy packaged bread. 16 Arnold, also known as Brownberry in the Midwest and Wheat in the West, is a long-standing bread brand known for exceptional high-fiber, whole-grain bread varieties. The consistency of quality across the entire nation has earned Arnold a solid, long-term reputation. Many of the brand's bread lines are praised by experts. For instance, Arnold 22 grains and seeds organic combines 22 types of grains and seeds and provides 8 grams of fiber per 2 slices. Arnold Grains Almighty offers 7 grams of fiber per 2 slices. Arnold's formula consistently starts with whole wheat flour as the primary ingredient and is fortified with flax seeds, sunflower seeds, and oats, making it rich in omega-3 South, B vitamins, and minerals. Nutritionist Jaime noted that the Arnold brand truly stands out for its high-fiber bread options and that they have numerous products where whole-grain ingredients are listed first with added seeds and no high fructose corn syrup. Arnold's whole-grain breads typically offer 4 to 5 grams of protein and 3 to 4 grams of fiber per slice, with moderate added sugar around 2 to 3 grams per slice. Consumers rate the bread as having a genuine wheat aroma, a firm but not dry texture, and being very satisfying to eat compared to white bread. With a history dating back to the 1940s and continuous healthy formula improvements, Arnold, Brownberry, or Wheat is rightly placed among the top bread brands, trusted by both experts and customers throughout the United States. 17. After exposing the 15 brands to avoid and exploring the 5 best choices, the essential takeaway is this: read your labels carefully and prioritize breads that are 100% whole grain or sprouted grain, low in sugar, low in sodium, and free of questionable additives. A good sandwich isn't just about taste. It's fundamentally about the quality of ingredients and the brand's reputation for safety and integrity. 18 Before you buy your next loaf, remember these 3 quick steps. First, check the first ingredient. It absolutely must be whole wheat, whole grain, or sprouted grain. Second, compare sugar and sodium content. The lower the better, period. Third, scan the additives carefully. Avoid high fructose corn syrup, artificial colors or flavors, and any long, convoluted list of ingredients you can't pronounce. 19 If you found this investigation helpful, please leave a like, comment with the brand you currently use or want me to review next, and share this with your family and friends so they can make safer, smarter choices. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss future content that actually protects your health. Thank you for watching until the end. Here's to delicious, healthy, and genuinely smarter meals.